Well, there's a lot of people, I think, in the room because the documentary, I think, really impressed a lot of people who had followed from Serial to Undisclosed and people who are new to the story. So how did initially the idea come together to make a documentary about Adnan's story?
So, I want to say that, nothing's a coincidence, and so it's this weird divine providence how this all happened, but I don't know if some of you know how Serial came together, and what happened with Serial was that one night I was watching the West of Memphis documentary on Netflix, 2013, I think. And when I got done watching it, I noted that there's this incredible director named Amy Berg who made this documentary. And it wasn't just a documentary, it was an investigative journey. She really tried to figure out what happened to those 3 little boys in that terrible case. And I turned off Netflix when I was done, and I was just devastated, but I said, I really need to find a good journalist, an investigative journalist. I was like, let me see if there's somebody in the area. And that night is the night I just popped open my laptop and I found Sarah Koenig. That, obviously, search led to Serial. Serial led to Undisclosed. It also led to a book that I wrote and Adnan contributed to, yeah. Thank you for that one person. And when it was announced that the book was going to be published, a number of people wanted to option the book. And this one production company that I have a lot of respect for, based out of the UK, were interested. And I said I would be comfortable going with them. And then 2 months later, they called me and said, we just want you to know Amy Berg's going to direct this. And so it was like this big full circle, like 4 or 5 years later, I'm like, this is not a coincidence.
Did you even think that she might be attracted to this project?
I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't believe, because of all the people. And I remember saying to Adnan, we couldn't have asked for these ducks to be lined up in a better, like it was just every single kind of piece we wanted, because you never know when you're turning over the story to filmmakers, to anybody, like what that could look like. But I knew with Amy, for her, it wasn't just about kind of making a sensational piece or just kind of documenting what had happened, but she spent 3 years trying to figure out what really happened on January 13th, 1989.
And I'm really glad that the show is not like a hour-long documentary, hour-and-a-half-long documentary, but there was enough time to explore 4 episodes of what we found and covered.
We wish it could have been like 10, but anyway.
Yeah, that would have been great too.
Well, in the process of kind of converting the content from the initial reporting from the case, from the content that's in a podcast to one that's on screen, what are some of the considerations when you're trying to tell a story like that visually?
Well, first of all, we got to see firsthand like how the sausage is made, and that was a really odd experience. Because I always thought, documentary, they just follow you around where you go. But it's no, you gotta walk into that room 5 times and get it right. Rabia, can you walk into the room again? Okay.
Man, there's one scene where I'm walking up a stairway, and it's like 3 floors. And I had to do that stairway like 5 times. But then I was like, no, Amy, I cannot physically get up the stairway one more time.
With the camera right under Susan's butt.
Yeah. Thanks, Amy. Appreciate it.
No, but what Amy had to do was really hard, because she had to really synthesize like so much. She had to tell the backstory, the present story, the Serial part of the story. Like there was so much for her to like kind of squeeze in, but I think she did such a great job. And I thought one of the most impactful things about this was, hundreds of millions of people listen to Serial. Not everybody are true crime junkies like you guys. So not everybody knows like kind of like what the players look like and who we are as, kind of as people. And so I think seeing us in real life had an impact on people. And especially for me, I think the most important thing was getting Adnan's father on film. Yeah. Because he is just so, he has turned himself into a hermit over the years, and he's so shy of everybody. And the fact that, and it took Amy a while, maybe a year and a half, of building a relationship with him to get him to trust her enough and be comfortable with her and her crew enough to finally be filmed. And when I used to say, you don't understand, Adnan's father's like Father Time, he's like this sweet, sweet, gentle old man. Like I'm so glad we were able to capture like him and what all of this has done to him.
One of the things that I think is, sometimes I meet someone who says, like, I didn't listen to Serial, and I think, really? Who hasn't listened to Serial? Or if they'll say, I listened to 2 episodes and then I stopped, I'm like, what's wrong with you, right? Because it's such a compelling narrative, and then everything that happens as a result. And so in terms of making sure that the film stood on its own and had its own content, especially after so many years. What were some of the things in the series that surprised you, whether it's the participation of individuals or the new elements of the story that they added?